Welcome to the final Teja session of 2021, everyone. Lovely to see you all. We are not expecting a large number today. People are, I know, understandably, they're all busy with end of year activities, and I'm sure Christmas parties, get-togethers, there's a lot happening. But people have asked me specifically, lots of requests about making sure the recording is available to them to close out the year with this deconstructing reflections activity-based session. So I'm really excited to start the session today. Warm welcome, everyone. And to the people who are new, just give me a second. Right. Let me tell you quickly something about Teja. Teja started in the year of the pandemic, 2020. And when the lockdown began, everyone was feeling kind of tired and bored hearing the same news and feeling restricted, feeling like they didn't have hope or connection, and they probably were lacking a bit of optimism as well. So Jayanti and I, who have done the Silva Method dynamic meditation program, and we personally gained a lot out of it. We decided to share some of our learnings through dynamic meditation specifically, so that we could tell others the huge benefits that it had and just get people often say they don't have enough time, but the pandemic was a classic time when you did have time and you didn't have an excuse, so you could experiment with the meditation and gain something out of it. So today's session is activity based, so please keep your journal and pen handy. And again, heartfelt thank you to all of you who've been attending our sessions, sending us feedback, sending us suggestions. We are really overwhelmed. Really, every bit of feedback matters, every comment matters. So please keep them coming, and do share your ideas of any future topics that you would like to hear as well. Let's get started. So reflecting on 2021, often everyone likes to make resolutions for the new year. So I know we're a bit worn out because at the end of 2020, to be honest, I thought, well, it's all behind my back now. 2021, brand new year. I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to do so many things. I'm going traveling, and I'm going to go back to the office, meet colleagues, meet my family. But on the contrary, 2021 lockdown was tougher than 2020. But nevertheless, we learn new things, and we are evolving as people. And even if we take it easy and think, I don't want to be too ambitious with the 2022 resolutions, you never know. So let's hope that today's session gives you some really good ideas. So I think before starting to make any resolutions, and please be bold and ambitious and very big, larger than life, I would highly recommend to be really outrageous with your goals. But do so after you have reflected on what happened in 2021 in your life. Because when we make those resolutions, sometimes we don't get the advantage of actually looking back at what has already happened and processing the past. As Jayanti mentioned, Jayanti is away briefly, but she's going to join us a bit later today. It's not just about looking at it, but processing it. That's the important part. So I will ask Naina to tell us a bit about what's her take on reflection.
Yeah, every day we look in the mirror, how we look outwardly. We don't actually miss looking into a mirror on a daily basis. We don't miss it any day. Usually, it doesn't take much time. It's so much. The mirror is in front of us, but reflections in terms of inside reflections, we really have to make a conscious effort. As Kalyani was saying, that before we go into making resolutions for the new year, it's important to look into what has happened in the last year, so that we have certain in stock with us, which sometimes we forget that we have those many things in stock. So taking a stock of things inside is also important in terms of reflection.
Thank you, Naina. Yes, very, very true. I completely agree. So let's get started. Exciting activities lined up. So today's session is totally activity based. So make sure you look back at 2021, and I'm sure, like most of us, we tend to forget things, good and bad. Mostly we tend to forget the good things. But so today's session is broken into 3 activities, and then there's going to be another creative learning session, which you can then take some ideas from it. And I will highly encourage you to spend your holidays doing some creative work on it. And then we'll finish it off by a nice meditation, and then just talk through the summary of today. So the 3 activities we are going to go through, and then I will take you through the first one. What am I proud of? And then the second and third activities are a bit linked to each other. So I will take you through those 2 activities. That is 3 things that didn't work out as expected in 2021. And WWIT stands for what would it take statements. And this is something that Jayanti and I learned from a teacher called Christy Marie Sheldon, who does programs on Mindvalley, if you've been listening to Mindvalley. And we were really impressed with this. So it's a very simple technique. You can look at it in your own time, but we will briefly touch on it, so you'll get some learning out of it as well. So Naina, you want to kickstart the next activity, the first activity?
Yes, see, if you have your paper and pen handy, you can open a fresh page and uh, just we have to write down 3 things, top 3 things. There may be many things we are proud of about ourselves, but here we just have to see what comes on the top. Top 3 things we achieved, whatever we have achieved, and that you are proud of in 2021. So in 2021, we had many opportunities to fight with the situation, to be brave, to be courageous, to be, uh, persistent. So just think for yourself and write down the top 3 things which you have achieved and you are proud of in 2021. You can just to help you reflect on those 3 things. You can, if you feel comfortable closing your eyes, or if you feel that you can just write down randomly whatever comes on your mind quickly, spontaneously, and then select the 3 things. That's also a wonderful way to do it. I believe you're already on the job. I believe we are ready with our list of 3 things. If you have, please raise your hand, Pia. Great. Yeah.
Yep, I think we can move on.
So once whatever you have written as top 3 things that you achieved in 2021 and you're proud of that, it doesn't matter that it doesn't have to be very great. It has to be relevant to myself. That's it. It doesn't have to be like, achievement. We really feel that, okay, I cleaned my house is not an achievement. It's an achievement. So maybe small things, but it is very relevant to me and I feel very happy about it. That's an achievement. So it may not be like achievement in terms of getting some rewards or getting something accomplishment, but even if it is small accomplishment, even if it is which you have been keeping probably pending for a long time and you did it this year, that's also an achievement and that also can be listed. So I believe whatever we have listed now, the next thing what we can do is attribute these 3 things to whatever skill set needed, whatever skill set I used for this accomplishment, for this achievement, or whatever unique quality that made it happen, that helped me doing this. For example, if suppose you completed something which you were wanting to do for long and you couldn't do it, but this year you did it. So you didn't give up. Persistence is that quality in you which helped you to achieve this. So probably some people did help others in some way in this difficult time. So that is your empathy. That's the quality which helped you do this, which you are proud of. So it may be somebody working with you, somebody a household person working with you, somebody who's uh, probably help outside, but you could do that. That achievement is because of certain quality in you. It may be empathy. So whatever I have listed 3 things, I just have to see which quality, which strength of mind, which skill set has helped me achieve this. If Jayanti and Kalyani can give some example, that would also.
Yeah, sure. I can give you an example. So 2021 was a big year personally because we finished building our house and we moved in. So 2020 was basically the whole most majority or large part of the year was spent in visiting the site and making sure the project was happening. But when the project is done and we moved in, it's not the end, it was the beginning because then moving in and then setting up the house and uh, trying to get the furniture and things that we really liked and yet sticking to the budget. So things like that. I think in terms of what that took, everyone knows moving house and setting up house is a big, very big deal. I think my key strengths were having patience, especially because when you're doing a lot of thinking and physical work, because even if you're organizing a wardrobe, you have to think how best am I going to organize this, and it's going to take a lot of effort because you're going to fold those clothes physically and start piling them up in shelves and sorting things out. So patience is key because you'll get exhausted, and when you're exhausted you are going to have a bad temper. So I think I had to keep telling myself it was not all going to be done in a day, especially if you are a bit of a control freak. You have to tell yourself that patience is key. It will happen. Just do small things. And I think I had to remain calm as well. Like we had some, just to give you an example, because of COVID, obviously there were big delays in the kind of the furniture and things we ordered. So literally for one of the furniture items, we probably waited like 6 months, and then we got sent the wrong item. So that was really frustrating. But and they were going to double charge us for delivering the item. So I guess it is, you would lose patience at that time and you would get pretty frustrated and angry. But I think at the end, have to remain calm and resolve it to get it sorted. So I think that's a key skill or a positive that I thought helped me in that situation. Anyone else would like to give an example? Sorry about that, guys. I'm speeding my slides. Yeah. Anyone else would like to give an example? Naina, would you like to give us an example?
Yeah, this pandemic year, we were all sitting at home, and then probably from a very busy life schedule, you come to this kind of scenario, which is quite difficult to accommodate yourself into this kind of scenario where you don't get to work. So I really did a change in my entire work, because I had been doing very hectic office work now, and then I settled into a new area of work. This is because I believe this is because I kept the faith in myself that yes, it's a new area for me, but I can do it. And then also persistence, because I'm 66, and at this age, giving some exams uh, or passing through some activities, or somebody judging you, somebody examining. So all these things were really difficult after a long time. But then I thought that persistence in me helped me accomplishing this. So I believe that everybody has those strengths. Only thing is that we just have to bring them to surface. I believe Kalyani is going to take certain kind of meditation activity here. I would also like to say a few things about it. Like sometimes people find it difficult to meditate, because those who are into overthinking, they especially find it difficult to focus and meditate. And these kind of reflections require some kind of meditative approach when you have to think about yourself, because we are not so much used to doing it. And sometimes it becomes very difficult if it is especially thinking about what you are proud of yourself, because we have been always brought up with this idea that somebody else has to praise you. You don't have to look at good things in you, others will see that. So it becomes further that there are blocks created because of that. So I believe that there are certain things which help us, in those who are new to meditation or those who find difficult to meditate or reflect. For them, especially if you have read the book The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. So there are very easy methods of entering into meditative mood. Every day doing those 5-minute activities also are very useful. So I believe Kalyani is going to take us through those.
Yep. So we will be definitely doing a very short meditation after we finish the activities. Let's move on to the next activity. So there are two sides of a coin. So the second side of the coin is now 3 things that didn't work out. And I know I'm keeping it to 3 things, because generally when we have a list of what worked out and what didn't, it's just human nature that the list of things that didn't work out is going to be like a mile long, and then what worked out will be really short. But let's keep it to 3 or maximum 4 things. And if they are from different areas of your life, it's even better, because then it will help to shed some light on different areas, that because we are going to use this as a foundation to build on this for those resolutions that you want to put together for 2022, bigger, better, brighter year. So for that, this is like a foundation you need to do. So 3 things that left you feeling dejected, guilty. I'm really stressing on guilty because in my list, there are things that I will, if I look at what I had visualized for 2021 and forget about things that were out of my control, like lockdown, etc. But things that weren't accomplished, it's more because, at the end, when I look back, I think, oh, I wish I would have given it more time, or I wish I would have, stopped spending some time doing something trivial and actually structured my day to give more time to this. So guilt, for me, it's a really big emotion, because you look at goals that are not accomplished and guilt is the predominant emotion for me. Then there's frustration because you may have put in a lot of effort, but you don't necessarily get the outcome that you think, which is in direct proportion to that effort. Or even jealousy, because you look at others sometimes and you think someone who got a better job than you, someone whose children did better than your children, for example, even, and you think, wow, they don't even put that much effort, and how come they get those results? So again, human nature. But it's good to bring up these things, don't suppress them, bring them up, because this is fuel, this is the perfect fuel to turn it into something that's really going to propel us forward. So let's take 2 or 3 minutes to write down the list of 3 things that didn't work out as expected. Okay, 30 seconds more maybe. And then, and remember that you can do this in your own time later, during the holidays as well. And the more you articulate, I think the more resource you have to build that future that you're looking at. Should I move on? Show me thumbs up if you've completed the task and we can move on. Yeah. Most people done? Cool. Okay, let's move on then. Actually, we could even go through an example of, or maybe just let me move on to the next thing, because there is a connection, as I mentioned, and that way it'll be better to do. Okay. So what's the point of bringing up these negative emotions? Or, sometimes when you reflect on something that didn't work out, how many of you probably felt the same emotion or the same, churn in your stomach or something? It actually feels pretty physical, these negative emotions. So when I was writing down some of the things that didn't work out, that, you say, oh, my mind is not feeling settled or feeling the churn in the stomach. I actually felt those same emotions as I made a note. So the good thing is bring it all up first, and then we are going to flip these on the head. So this really amazing teacher called Christy Marie Sheldon, she is, you can Google her, she is known to be highly, highly intuitive. And she helped many, many people who came to her with issues about, especially about money, gave them some tools and techniques that they used. So it's not that she's giving you something, that's for free and get rich quick scheme or something. It's not like that. She is giving you some tools to analyze and reflect, so you can bring up your own limitations or your own abundance blocks. She says there are 24 abundance blocks, and she takes you through them. And really, she helped people who were homeless, bankrupt. They really didn't even have the next dollar to do whatever they wanted to do. So she said that you could turn your negative or your problem into a what would it take statement. So for example, if uh, I don't have enough money right now, and my aim is to, say, buy a property, and I don't have enough money for the deposit right now. So that could be something, if I wrote that down as things that didn't work out. Okay, I didn't manage to save enough money or have enough income to build towards that deposit. And that, when I write that down, it's going to make me even more frustrated and even more angry, and look at other people and go, how come they got that house in a better price? Or, how come people get lucky and not me? That's all good. So then you just cancel, erase it off, and you say, what would it take? So turn that around, and devoid of emotion, just make it a very practical thing. Ask the question, what would it take? Instead of saying, I don't have enough money to build that house deposit, what would it take to have that extra money to build towards my deposit by March 2022? Just ask that question, and things will automatically start popping in your head. And you, before you analyze any of that, just quickly make a note, because that is your intuition trying to tell you, giving you those clues. And you will be really surprised at how things work out after that. Just start writing them down. Some of them can simply be apply for this job, or meet this person, or go to a better mortgage broker, or whatever. You could have a list of 50 things, and you'll be surprised when you start taking some action in those directions, something will work out. And maybe you wouldn't have enough deposit, but you were looking at some suburb that you really like, and you just moved a suburb or two away, and suddenly there is this property that fits in your budget. You already have the deposit, you paid, and before you know it, you bought the house as well. So you have to turn these statements into what would it take. And sometimes the answers may not come, which is fine, but you keep asking the questions all the time, especially if you've just done a meditation, or you're very calm, or the first thing you wake up, because even your dreams have a lot of data information that actually is your intuition trying to give you clues. And the more you think of it, the more it will remain in your subconscious, and you'll start getting those clues. So another example would be, if it's to do with health, that why am I not losing those kilos, or why am I eating so many calories? Flip it around. So what would it take for me to lose 5 kilos by March 2022? Start getting those answers. pop them down on the paper. I know there are things that you already probably know, but when your intuition is speaking to you, just quickly make a note, because it might say, oh, it's simple, just start eating healthier. And the next thing you'll know is you'll find some really amazing recipes that are easy, that don't take time. You'll experiment and you'll start feeling great in 1 week. And then, you build that into your habit. And before you know it, you're already on your journey. You're already feeling good about yourself. Or you're meeting a friend who's decided to walk 5 kilometers, and you join them for a walk. And you have a motivation partner that helps you to burn off those calories. So all these ideas might spring out of these. So we'll take a couple of minutes to write what would it take statements for the 3 or 4 things that you have written that didn't work out for you in 2021. So let's do it now. I think some of you are done. Just give you 30 seconds more. Okay. Anyone want to share anything at this stage? It's completely okay not to share as well, but if you want to, it can benefit others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, you have given the example of managing weight. So I think it didn't work for me. As it worked in 2020, it didn't work much in 2021. So there's no guilt as such, but uh, I know that I have not made it a conscious choice. That's why it didn't happen. So now when I want to turn it into what would it take? So I have very simple things to mention about it. That I have to really make a very conscious effort of being very regular in my exercises, and especially getting up early. That would give me that time available for doing the exercise. And for that, I need to sleep before 11 p.m. And another thing is that I have to keep a watch on my sweet consumption. Or what would it take? These are the things, very simple things, but I really have to bring it to my conscious thinking. That's it.
Perfect. Very well explained, Naina. Very, very true. And I mean, when you write this, it's like, oh, I knew this. It's not that it's anything, you know, so out of the left field that you didn't know it. Or if it is, great. You never know. Your intuition works in mysterious ways, really. Um, so one of the things for me as well was the same thing that, if I'm trying to, I have a number of projects which I'm not giving enough time. I'm guilty of that. So what would it take? And one of the things was to wake up early, and I have to sleep early for that. And I think if you're always saying when the day is finished and you think, oh, I just didn't have time for that, I think I'm going to try an approach where I, at the same time every day, I try to say, maybe not even an hour, I want to work on this task for 40 minutes. When you put that in your list, you think, oh yeah, that's achievable. It's not asking too much. And maybe you look at your routine. I know there's lots of things everybody has like, especially if you have work and you have activities after work, or you have kids that you need to help them with homework, help them with activities, take them to lessons and so on. But maybe if you have dinner slightly 40 minutes early, you get that 40 minutes after dinner where you can just work on this task every day at the same time. And that's probably one way of trying to integrate the discipline in your life, for example. So I hope you found this activity useful, and try to do this for everything, all the negatives that you have, or the things that you complain about, or the things that you think you lack. Try to practice this. It's been helpful, I know, for me, definitely in the past. So let's move on. And so this is cool. This is one of my favorite things. And I think it's very timely now because most of us, whether you're in Australia or India or wherever you are, there's going to be at least 4 or 5 days, between Christmas and New Year, where you have some leave and some time to relax, unwind. Try to do this because it's very relaxing, and something that will put you in such a optimistic and positive, hopeful mode for 2022. Vision boarding. Who has not heard of vision boarding? All of us know. We think that sometimes, it's like you do a collage of things and you put it there and you look at it for 2 days and you're thrilled, and then nobody looks at it. So here's the idea of how you can actually make things happen with the vision board. So another Mindvalley recommendation. So there is this program called Lifebook, and if you do it, I mean, you want to invest in it and do it, I think it'll be terrific. But I did the masterclass, which is free, so you could even do the masterclass. And what I liked about this masterclass and the Lifebook principle is that they have these 12 categories of life that, sometimes you do a vision board and then you think, if everything is about career, and it can be, because there are different stages in life where sometimes you're focused more on, propelling ahead in the career area, or sometimes if you have young children or whatever, then you're taking a bit of a backseat in the career if you are, and you're focusing on parenting, for example. But the good thing about these 12 areas is that you can work out some high level goals in these areas, and that way you can spread your energy across the different areas and achieve a good balance. So according to the people who created this program, John and Missy Butcher, they're an amazing couple, hashtag couple goals. They kind of say you can have it all, you certainly can have it all, and they have worked on having an incredible business, and their kids are amazing, and how they've given time to their kids, and how they are so much in love after 40 years of being together. They're so fit. They have an amazing spiritual life because they practice meditation and yoga and other techniques. They travel a lot, so their quality of life is very enriched. And they have a life vision, because if you don't have a vision, you will become stagnant. So this is something that I did a couple of years ago, and I think I want to revisit it now. I actually took one whole day offline, not doing anything, not even staying at home, because when you're at home, you're doing dishes or laundry or whatever. So disconnect, go away somewhere, and try to do a focus on health and fitness, where you're at now and where you'd like to be, and what would it take statements. So try and do this for all of these 12 areas. You can Google the life book program on Mindvalley, and you'll be able to find the masterclass, and you'll be able to find these 12 categories. And you'll be amazed at how little hacks in those areas can actually make a big difference. So when I did it a couple of years ago, I had put in targets about health and fitness, about my spiritual life, about love, relationship, and it really helped me a lot. So in health and fitness, for example, I wanted to, I didn't know how, if I have never been a runner in my life, but I wanted to achieve something, say run even a 1 kilometer. I actually managed to do, I found some program somewhere, and I managed to give it some time, and I actually managed to improve my fitness level by consistently doing a running activity. And then an example with love relationship is also that my husband and I decided that we should go on a date night. So because our kids are not that young anymore, and they can be alone and manage themselves, it was achievable. We actually did date nights every month. So 1 month we just went on watching a movie, or having coffee, or going to lunch, going on a walk together, but do it every month. And it's not that you're not spending time with each other when you're at home, but just having that pure quality time is going to give so much to the relationship. Same with parenting. You could have your own goals, financial life, social life. And I think out of all the vision boarding that I've done in the past, I really enjoyed this. So in the holidays, my tip to you is use these 12 categories as the basis, and then work out where you're at the moment, and where you would like to be, and what would it take. And in the what would it take, start sticking some photos, pictures, happy faces, or if you're looking at buying a house, try and find exact pictures of the kind of house you want to live in. Or with financial life, if you've got a goal to have X amount of dollars in your bank by this date, the clearer you are, the better it is. Make a check and stick it there on your vision board. And quality of life, if you want to travel to Europe, for example, then stick photos of, say, the Eiffel Tower or Leaning Tower of Pisa, or wherever you want to travel, and look at those pictures often, and look at the what would it take actions, and you'll be surprised. Some of them will be unlocked, and when you'll do this activity at the end of 2022, you will be surprised. Your mind will be blown at how far you've already come. So a recommendation for the holiday activity. Naina, do you want to add something to this?
Eleni, I'm actually doing this activity, and I think it really has helped me, because then I started thinking in those directions, and it automatically as if it is in a flow, it is coming that, I could get some ideas of how I can take it forward, how I can accomplish that. So I have made different vision boards for different areas, like for example, investments, financial, house, or my property management, or even in terms of what I want to be learning now, what I want to accomplish. So all these vision boards, I keep on looking at them. I have made it for my children. I have made it for people who I feel that they should be doing so. So I'm suggesting people also that they should create those, and I'm giving them some templates to use. I believe that this really helps, because sometimes you are stuck into that this won't happen. You're blocked there. It won't happen. So I just have to imagine. If I have to imagine, if in the imagination I can do, if I imagine, like, this won't happen, I can imagine it happens also. So when vision boards really give you clues, that's what I have experienced.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you for that feedback. So highly encourage you to do this, and maybe Google Lifebook and you'll find some clues as well. Use your creativity, make illustrations, drawings, cutouts, notes, whatever speaks to you. Some people are more visual, so they like photos. Some people like words, so use words. Um, you can make a digital one if you want as well. And you can record sounds or anything that you like. So that's an activity, and then I will move into the meditation part. I guess that's the next thing. So I'm going to just conduct a very brief guided meditation for creative visualization of 2022. And I just, one tip, if after this meditation, if you do get any ideas during this exercise, just write it down. It's probably a thing that's going to maybe a clue for 2022. So let's begin. Sit in a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Take a deep belly breath. Exhale. Another really big breath. And exhale. Now, in the next breath, just feel a wave of relaxation washing over your body from head to toe. Breathe in and out. Relax your body completely from head to toe. And now, on your next inhale, visualize yourself walking along a beautiful beach at sunrise on a summer morning. The sun is just rising, the temperature is just perfect, the breeze is blowing in your face, you can hear the waves softly coming on the beach and then crashing back. Deep breath, hear the waves. You can hear the birds chirping and the sound of the wind in the palm trees. There's no one around. It's a beautiful golden hour in the morning, and you're walking, feeling the waves touching your feet, the cool water, and the salty air that you can smell. Your body and mind are now completely relaxed. And now you're sitting on the beach on this soft yoga mat. facing the sun. And now you can see a picture of 2022 unfold right in front of your eyes. All those what would it take statements have manifested. Picture yourself in perfect health as you visualized earlier. Where are you standing now? Who is next to you? What can you hear? What are you wearing? What are the people around you wearing? Perhaps you're at a celebration, looking absolutely full of health, vitality, celebrating the success of a project, a dream, a business venture, a career milestone, something that you have worked hard towards and the goal has been accomplished. Breathe in and feel the accomplishment. Feel your lungs swell up with accomplishment, joy, feeling proud of yourself. All the hard work has paid off. You are now celebrating the success of the goals which have been accomplished already. You're smiling, radiant, hugging the people around you, perhaps your family, your team members, or perhaps if you've been waiting for the ideal partner, you're sitting right next to them, enjoying this lovely feast. And as you look beyond, you know that 2022 is going to bring you much more than you desired. The effort that you put in is going to feel so smooth, easy. You're in the flow, you're in alignment with what you have desired, and it has unfolded and further unfolding for you. And now you look at that journal, the vision board you have created, you feel so proud. You look at the pictures, the images that have already been achieved. You trust the process. You believe in your intuitive power now, more and more. You're ready to give to others because your cup is so full. And you feel even happier when you give to others, when you contribute to others. Take a deep breath, step into this new you, this happy, vitalized, amazing, confident you. Step into their shoes. Take a deep breath. Experience these emotions. Feel the energy. Smile. Inhale and breathe out. It's all achievable. It's all possible. Everything that you desire, the universe will work with you to make it happen for you. And now I'm going to slowly bring you out of this meditation, after which you're feeling optimistic, positive, relaxed, joyful. I'm going to count from 1 to 5. Gradually at 5, you will open your eyes feeling much more relaxed and content. 1, 2, 3, coming out slowly, 4, and 5, eyes open, feeling refreshed, feeling positive, feeling hopeful. I hope you enjoyed that meditation. And 2022 is going to be bigger and better for all of us. If you have any comments, let me know in the chat. In the meantime, I'm going to do a quick recap in the summary. So the 3 activities, I hope you found them useful, and especially the turning lessons learned into mission statements. So it's about those things that we did not achieve, did not accomplish, just turn them into what would it take statements. So that becomes your roadmap for the next year ahead. Make a vision board, have fun, just ask your children to help you or ask them to make their own vision board. Do a family activity maybe. And then the vision board is not just a pretty picture. Work on a goal plan and action steps. So the goal plan could be, give it a time frame as well. If it's losing weight by March, then work backwards on that roadmap and see what it takes. So if it's going to be walking 2 kilometers every day or having salad 3 days a week, then start putting together a menu for those 3 days. What are those 3 days going to be, and what are you going to eat on those 3 days, and when are you going to take your 2-kilometer walks, for example? So this is a very simplified example, and you can work out your own to suit your own needs and to suit your own goals. Don't forget to meditate and evaluate. So when you meditate, you're in your highest intuitive power, and it'll give you all those clues, it'll give you the guidance. And also remember to evaluate. So if you've kept a goal for 3 months, maybe evaluate every 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever suits, but try to evaluate so that there'll be days when you probably don't stick to your game plan, but that's when you evaluate, you can adjust your game plan or make sure you identify the barriers or what's not working for you, for example. So that's the recap of today in my view. Naina, do you want to add anything?
I was just wondering if suppose meditation is not very easily coming to me. I cannot go into a meditative mode stance very easily. So as as people have suggested, how do we start doing that, getting into that? So some suggestions are, if you sit in a dark room, like no lights, if it is the evening time, and then you just sit there so that you don't have any object to focus on, and then get your thinking going distracted. So if you sit in the dark room, you just have to we can be yourself and reflect inside. Another, as opposite to this, if you select one object, like for example, a small tree or a small flower, and just look at that for 5 minutes. I know it's not going to be very easy looking at one object 5 minutes, but if you start with 1 minute, 2 minutes, you can get into just look at that object and see colors, see whatever the shape of that object is. If it's a flower, then if there are petals, see different colors, shades in the petal. So this kind of small things help us to get into meditation easy, because we have lots of distractions. If suppose you have done a lot of meditation, it's very easy for you to get into a meditation. But people who do not have habitually done that, these are some tips.
Yeah, thanks, Naina. Great tips. There's something in the next few slides that I will share about the meditation. So it's a timely thing that you talked about how meditation may or may not be an easy thing. So moving on, there's some handy references there. So Christy Marie Sheldon, who I talked about, you can look her up on Instagram, Mindvalley. My Life Journal will give you some clues on vision boarding and journaling. And then I found this blog post, artfulparent.com. Make a vision board work. 10 steps of how to do that and how to get kids involved if you have kids. And then Naina shared this Conscious Rethink YouTube channel, which also had a lot of insights about vision boards. And then Christy Marie Sheldon has this program called Unlimited Abundance. You can do the free masterclass, and then if you want to invest, you could do the program. Same with Life Book by Mindvalley. And then there's a book that Nayana, I think she's read it and she used that as a foundation to build her vision boards. It's called Ask and It Is Given by Abraham Hicks. And Jayanti shared another resource, School of Life. School of Life is full of resources, lots of free things, lots to read. They have a YouTube channel, and I think they have bite-sized information, and you can even buy gifts. Good time of the year now if you're thinking of buying gifts. They have really mindful gifts, so that's another thing. And moving on, so meditations, if you are not able to focus, and sometimes think of nothing doesn't work because you always think of something, you could look at getting a customized meditation. So Jayanti and I have done quite a few where we actually did a short interview with the person who wanted a customized meditation, and then when we spoke to the person, we know what their needs are, we know what they're looking to manifest, then we actually record our voice in a very customized way to suit the needs of the person who requested the meditation. And some people who've done it for health or for, if they have some blocks in their mind, they were actually quite happy with the outcome. So if you're thinking of that, do reach out to us. We are more than happy to record a meditation for you. And remember, it's customized, so it's targeted to you, and it's not one of the generic ones that you listen and sometimes you zone out. This is made specifically for you, so you tend to listen to it. And that's what we're offering. So it's a good gift idea too, if you are looking at Christmas gifts and want to give your family, friends, or someone, especially if someone's looking at improving their health or unlocking a specific goal in their life. That's a really good offer you have there for a customized meditation designed for you. Do speak to us if you're interested. And I think that brings us to the end of the session. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube. This session is going to be recorded and available on YouTube. So if you have missed any of the past sessions, encourage you to go to our channel and listen to, there's heaps of topics that we covered, and we are interested in hearing what you want to suggest as future topics. And if you have any guest speakers in mind that you want to listen to, please do suggest as well. Nayana, would you like to say anything in conclusion?
I believe, Kalyani, this reflection is a great activity to do at the end of the year, so that when you start the new year 2022, you're already, you have the resources and you have all the motivation to do whatever you have decided to do. So I really thank you for having taken.
So I would encourage you all to share. Once the recording is available, I will share it with you. Ask your family, friends to listen to this and use those tools and techniques. So if you have, when you have someone, a partner who has done the same thing, then you can check on each other, encourage each other. And especially when you're not feeling motivated, someone who's using the same roadmap, then you can share your journey and make it even fruitful for each other. So thank you all, and really a big thank you for attending all our sessions in 2021 and for listening to the recordings, for your feedback, suggestions. I wish you a bigger, better, brighter, healthier, successful 2022 ahead, and hope to bring you some more exciting, refreshing content and some more exciting developments for Teja, looking at doing even face-to-face workshops in the future. So stay tuned, follow us, and thank you once again. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and a fantastic New Year. Bye. Good night.